When traditional professions dry up, money is spent less for different things. Like if you've worked in a company, you may have heard of R&D, research and development, or HR, training. A lot of times when dollars dry up, resources get low, those types of activities are deleted out because the company doesn't want to pay for those type of things. So you have a lot of professionals who find themselves out of work.
Right.
You know, I've known people who, for instance, I know a person who was a media buyer and made good money for 15 years. And all of a sudden, you know, companies don't want to spend traditionally what they spend on advertising. You know, so you have people who've been around for a long time that the company may hold on to them, but you may be an up-and-comer and you're out the door, and now you're hearing a whole pool of professional people who have nowhere to go.
Man,
So
meaning they have no income.
Have no income traditionally of how you was earning your income.
So how do they, I know you talked about, how are they going to reinvent themselves, this income?
Let's talk about reinventing the income.
Yeah.
How can you reinvent yourself if you've been trained to do one thing and now that's dried up? You have to think in terms of transitional skills. You know, what can you do to go out there and still continue to make yourself viable out here? You know, do you look for opportunities? Do you go back to school? You know, you have to be smart about that. You have to think in terms of how can I transition my skills? How can I think in another way of making money?
Got to change their mindset.
Earning income, changing your mindset, moving your paradigm.
That can be scary for, you think, the majority of people, or?
Well, it happened to me. It was scary to me.
Well, what had happened to you?
Well, when I left a company after almost 30 years, I had a mini breakdown.
What?
Had a mini breakdown. You know, curl up in a ball, do all of that. You know, and then you go, okay, well, ain't no money coming in, so then what do? You know, what I did was I started working out with a group of old people. Just got up every day.
You mean physical exercise? All right.
Started working out with it. Got me up every morning. So it was like, okay, I'm not getting up going to work, but I'm going to work.
All right.
So I started working on my mind and my body. And then I went and volunteered. I got up and I went to work every day. I wasn't getting paid. I was volunteering, but I was getting worked like a Negro slave. And you have to trust and believe that something's going to come out of that. And I'll consider myself a jack of all trades. If it's a job out there, I've probably done it.
Right.
You know, if it's a certification or whatever. If it's a school, I've been there, done that. So, you know, you have to be prepared for these life changes. You have to be prepared for what's going on in the economy. You have to be aware that it's not, you don't live in a silo. You know, we're in a whole big old world, and then regardless of what people tell you, it doesn't impact you. So you do need to stay informed. You do need to have transitional skills. You do need to believe that you can reinvent yourself. Maybe I've never thought of myself as an entrepreneur. But that don't mean I won't try it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So you have to think outside the proverbial box.
So as you were, I want to hear the rest of the story though. So as you were reinventing yourself, what happened? Just opportunity just landed?
So as I was reinventing myself and I went and did all these things that I never in my wildest dream thought I would ever do. Somebody called me up and asked me did I want a job.
Really?
They asked me.
And she running things, y'all.
I came in and interviewed, and before I could even leave the building, they offered me the job.
They offered the job before you could leave the interview.
Before I could leave the interview.
Come on now.
Offered me the job.
That's powerful.
It's very powerful.
Well, you know, a lot of people say I don't have work, and I've never heard this. I went and volunteered. Who does that?
And we need to stop thinking that volunteering is more than just I'm going to go feed somebody, you know, at the soup line. Volunteering is a very committed effort. Very committed. And a lot of times, you know, you doing the drudge stuff. You doing the stuff that don't nobody want to do. You doing the stuff that is not glorious at all. There's no camera opportunity at the end of it to snap your picture. Say, volunteer of the year. You really have to really be invested in that activity. And I really was. I really truly was, because I like to work.
I do too.
I love to work.
I'm good at it.
You know. And so even if I was a so-called millionaire, I would be working because I love to work. work. I love to be productive, and there's several types of ways to be productive. You can be productive with your mind. You can be productive physically. There's all kind of ways to be productive and lend yourself to something or someone. And then you always have to think in terms that you're going to give, and you're going to give, and you're going to give, and quit worrying about what you're going to get back, because it's going to come back. It's going to come back.
It's definitely going to come back.
It's going to come back.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Joelle Bogan.
Namaste.